Good day. This lecture video is a continuation of our discussion about neuroanatomy. Last week, we stopped at the first part of the brain, which is the cerebrum. So we will be starting now with the second part, no, which is the diencephalon. Diencephalon has three parts. You have your thalamus, hypothalamus, and epithalamus. So si thalamus, it surrounds the third ventricle, relays almost all sensory input from the spinal cord to the cortex. It also transmits impulses from the cortex to the cerebellum and basal ganglia. So if you could imagine, no, the function of the thalamus, it relays sensory input towards the brain, and it would relay or transmit impulses from the brain to the cerebellum. So si thalamus po, no, dumadaan sa kanya para po siyang bridge. Example, no, there is pain stimulus. So from the outside to spinal cord, pataas, no? Sa thalamus muna siya. Pain. Saan niya isi-send yung pain na stimulus? Anong lobe? Parietal lobe, because parietal lobe, no, concerns in the somatosensory, which is one of which is pain. Example naman, if it's a visual stimulus or visual yung message, saan niya isi-send? From the thalamus, isi-send niya to the posterior lobe, no? Kasi vision. Now, paano naman pag motor? So, motor, pababa, no? So, galing sa, ano yung motor natin or voluntary na cortex? Sa frontal lobe. From the frontal lobe to the thalamus, then thalamus ibibigay na sa cerebellum or sa basal ganglia, no? For the computation of muscle control before going pababa sa effector organ. So thalamus acts as a bridge. Next, we have your hypothalamus. Hypothalamus. Hypo, under. No? Kasi hypothalamus located under the thalamus. It regulates homeostasis, autonomic activity, hormones. No? Because hypothalamus would produce hormones that would influence the endocrine system, thus producing homeostasis. It also contains the feeding and satiety centers, thirst centers, no? And the circadian rhythm. One thing to note also for the hypothalamus, it's the center for thermoregulation. So it regulates the temperature. Kasi example, if there is fever, you would expect that the respiratory rate of the patient would increase. It's because the hypothalamic temperature regulates. Okay? Because the hypothalamus regulates the temperature. No? So when it is regulating the temperature, mas increase yung demand of oxygen. So nag-i-increase din yung RR. Okay? Ayan siya, no? Sa baba po siya ng thalamus. Hypothalamus. Then last, we have the epithalamus. It forms the roof of the third ventricle. It includes the choroid plexus that forms the CSF. Contains pineal gland, which secretes melatonin. This is an important uh, endocrine gland because it is responsible for the wake, no, the sleep-wake cycle because it secretes melatonin. We also have the habenular nuclei, which involves in olfaction, no, meaning sense of smell. So that's it. You have your diencephalon, the thalamus, hypothalamus, and epithalamus. Now, let's get into the brainstem, no? And I wanted to focus on this because this is, no, the one brain region that every respiratory therapist must be well acquainted with. The brainstem connects the brain to the spinal cord and also controls automatic life support functions. Kasi diba, you do not have to think to breathe. That is because of the brainstem. But if, diba, At rest, you don't control breathing. Pero minsan, we could also control breathing, no? If I ask you now to inhale, hold it in, then exhale, you're controlling your breathing. It's not the brainstem that is doing that. It's your frontal lobe, no? Because it's voluntary. But at rest, if you, di ba, involuntary breathing, that's your brainstem. Okay? Your brainstem has three parts: the midbrain, pons, and the medulla oblongata. Each part has both tracts which carries signal, no? So later, as an introductory, be it midbrain, pons, or medulla oblongata, they would carry tract, no? Sensory tract, which is we call ascending tract. Also, we have the motor tract, which is the descending tract, no, pababa. Okay, now, si midbrain lies superior to the pons and inferior to the diencephalon. Meaning, si midbrain, sa baba siya sa diencephalon, sa taas siya sa pons. Meaning, your midbrain serves as a bridge between the medulla and the brainstem. Okay? It serves as a pathway for ascending sensory, no, and descending motor tracts. It also contains important reflex centers. Now, the important thing in midbrain is that it contains the substantia nigra and the red nucleus, which helps control movement and posturing. These structures are involved in motor coordination and muscle control. So si midbrain po, it's more on sa motor control, no? You have your substantia nigra and red nucleus. Eto, these part, you have your caudate nucleus, your globus pallidus, your putamen. These structures are more on for the movement. So PTs really know this structure because this is for coordination. So people with affectation on the basal ganglia, particularly in the substantia nigra, has a motor problem or disease we call the Parkinson's disease. I believe, no, some of you knows this disease. Ito yung condition ni Anne Hathaway sa kanyang movie na Love and Other Drugs, na Parkinson's disease. Nagkakaroon ng involuntary movement at rest. Then the patient cannot also control how they move because again, remember, no, as we go back, it's more on control of the movement. So nagkakaroon ng decrease in the control of the movement. Kaya hindi na kaya ni patient, no, na mag-move controlled. Okay? Next, and I want you to focus on here, is the pons. Si pons is the bulging center part. It also contains sensory ascending and motor descending tracts. Now, si pons acts as a bridge connecting different parts of the brain, especially the cerebellum. No? Now, within the pons, and ito yung gusto kong tatandaan ninyo, within the pons is the pontine respiratory center. Okay? Anong respiratory center present kay pons? The pontine respiratory center. This group, no, or pontine respiratory group, this group works with the medulla to fine-tune breathing. So sa brainstem, di ba may tatlo? We have the midbrain, pons, and medulla oblongata. Yung primary na respiratory centers are present in the pons and in the medulla. No? Kasi si midbrain maroon sa motor siya. Pag sinabing respiratory centers, sa pontine respiratory group po tayo and sa medulla na respiratory group. Anyway, let's go back to the pons. Within the pons is the pontine respiratory group. This group works with the medulla to fine-tune breathing. Si medulla, it would set the rhythm. Si pons naman, siya yung mag-modify ng rhythm especially during changes in the activity. So the pons, ang kanyang work is to modify the rhythm and breathing pattern that was given by medulla oblongata. Okay? So it modifies the rhythm and breathing pattern. Now, I want you to be familiarized with this muna kasi again, we will be just touching up these structures for this session. But next week, when we discuss regulation of breathing, we will dive into a deeper physio and understanding of what is the function of these pontine respiratory groups, these medulla respiratory groups. But for now, I want you to familiarize that pons has the pontine respiratory group which functions to modify the rhythm and breathing pattern. Okay? While si medulla oblongata naman is the lowest part of the brainstem, this is not a thinking center. Wala pong thinking na nangyayari kay medulla oblongata. This is a survival center. Na bakit survival center siya? Because si medulla oblongata contains nuclei that would regulate vital functions. One of which is it has the cardiovascular center. So medulla oblongata regulates the heart rate and blood vessels, particularly the blood pressure. So meaning, damage or affectation to this structure most likely would cause irregular and life-threatening na breathing patterns. Ano pa? Medulla oblongata has your medullary respiratory center, which regulates breathing. No? So medullary respiratory center establishes the basic rhythm of breathing. Okay? Ano po meaning nito? Ganito. Si medulla oblongata, when we talk about the rhythm of breathing, siya po yung nagbibigay, no, ng basic rhythm. Okay? So at rest, di ba, you have your own breathing pattern, no? Inhale, exhale, no? Normal breathing pattern. That's medulla oblongata that's giving that rhythm. Sipons, as what we discussed kanina, it modifies that rhythm depending on the changes in activity. Example, when at rest, di ba, you have your rhythm. We established that already. But, di ba, for example, naka-running era ka. 'Di ba, napansin ninyo that when we run, no, sino ba yung mga athlete din dito, when you run, 'di ba, naga-increase imong breathing pattern or imong RR naga-increase. And yung breathing pattern mo is not the same breathing pattern as when you are resting. It is, no, it is accommodating the need. Kasi 'di ba, when you run, your muscles needs oxygen for it to function. Kasi, no, for it to function. Now, when you run, nag-i-increase yung demand of that oxygen. So what will happen? As a response, your heart and lungs would double time, not to push blood supply, to push oxygen towards the muscles. So kailangan nilang i-modify yung breathing. Hindi pwedeng at yung breathing pattern at rest lang, no? Kasi siya enough to supply oxygen to the muscles. So, anong gagawin? Pons would try to modify the rhythm, no? Himuon niya og shallow ang breathing para mas madali ang oxygen na masulod. So, ganon. Okay? Medulla oblongata, ang function niya is it establish basic rhythm. Si Pons, siya yung mag-modify ng breathing depending on the need of the activity. Okay? And also, under medulla oblongata, nandito po ang ating RAS or Reticular Activating Center. Itong Reticular Activating Center, no, it function niya is for consciousness and wakefulness or arousal. Meaning, RAS works with your circadian rhythm as well. Kasi if affected si RAS, patient will lead to coma. Kasi again, it's for consciousness and arousal. So kung nawala to, what will happen? No? Your patient will not be conscious. So makoma. Okay? So that's for the reticular activating center under medulla oblongata. So ayan po siya. You have your brainstem, the midbrain. Saan na yung midbrain dito? Midbrain, the pons, and the medulla oblongata. Okay? Then the last part of the brain is the cerebellum, no? Its location is inferior and posterior aspect of the cranial cavity. It's 1/10 of the brain's mass and it's butterfly shaped, no? Dili siya butterfly shape makita sa gilid but more on sa likod or sa tanawin mo siya sa inferior, no? You have the butterfly shape. Now, I want you to focus on the lobes. No? Ang i-focus natin sa cerebellum is the lobes. You have your anterior lobe, nasa harap, posterior lobe sa likod, and the flocculonodular lobe, ito yung bagong lobe na na-discover. Okay, so we have three lobes, no, for cerebellum. We have your anterior lobe, posterior lobe, and flocculonodular lobe. Each of them has its own different function. Okay, si anterior lobe, it's for motor tone, coordination of trunk, and limbs. Okay, so sa cerebellum, it's more on sa pangpiti na gaayon ni sila na na structure involved, no? Because it's more on movement and balance. Si anterior lobe, it's more again motor tone coordination. Ano nangyayari if anterior lobe is affected? 'Di ba example, when you walk, hindi niyo napapansin, pero when you move your left leg, your right arm is swinging nasa front. Pag imo naman pong right leg ang nasa front, imo ang left arm naman pod. Now we call that no, sway. 'Di ba? So kung mag-walk ka, hindi mo na lang napapansin, minute lang na mga movement, no? When you step on the left, your right arm is naka-forward. When you step on the right, yung left arm naman mo ang naka-forward. That's coordination of the limbs. But if the patient has anterior lobe affectation, nawawala yung coordination na yun. Kaya nagkakaroon siya ng gait ataxia, no? Meaning nakakaroon siya ng ataxia when walking. Okay? Kasi the coordination is affected, no? Anterior lobe, that's coordination. Si posterior lobe naman, it's fine coordination, motor planning, and timing. So when we say fine coordination, this is more on sa dexterity or sa kamay, no? And more on specific muscle coordination. Example, when you reach your phone, 'di ba? Ma-reach magyudayon nimo siya. Okay? But for patients with posterior lobe affectation, particularly the motor planning is affected, when they try to reach their phone, usahay malampas ang ilang kamot sa phone. Or usahay, dili pod makulang. Because their muscle cannot plan or cannot calculate the amount of strength needed para makuha ang cellphone. Malampas, no? Say masobra ang strength o say makulang. We call that dysmetria. No? So, ganun. More on the planning, the calculating of how much strength ba kailangan, pila ba ang control na kailangan, that's posterior lobe. Si flocculonodular lobe naman, it's for balance and equilibrium. So, if flocculonodular lobe is affected, ang nangyayari, nawawala yung balance ng ating patient. No? So kung maglingkod na sila, naga-perturbate na, meaning kita mo ka nang maglingkod tapos murag nila balance ang ilahang trunk sa center kasi nawawala yung kanilang balance. We call that truncal ataxia. Okay? So that's for cerebellum. Now, we're done with discussing the brain, no? So the cerebrum, the diencephalon, the brainstem, and the cerebellum. Now, let's discuss the blood supply of that brain. Now, for this session, we will just be touching up, no, the circulation. We will be diving into deeper on the specific structures when we discuss the stroke and the pathology. So the blood supply of the brain comes from two major arteries. The internal carotid arteries, which will later supply the anterior circulation of the brain, and the vertebral arteries, which later on supplies the posterior part of the circulation of the brain. Then after the supply, the blood is drained through the sinuses and into the internal jugular veins down to the superior vena cava, then back to the right atrium. If you could recall our discussion that the brain requires 20% of the oxygen and glucose of the entire body. Any interruption to that supply would cause impairment. Ito na po yung tinatawag nating stroke. No? Stroke, medically known as cerebrovascular accident. So, cerebro-brain vascular blood supply. Meaning, stroke patients po nagkakaroon ng disruption on the blood supply nila. Okay? Kaya nagkakaroon ng impairment. Okay? So, one of your classmates have discussed or has raised that you already had an idea of the circulation or sino ba yung main circulation of the brain, and it's your circle of Willis. No? The circle of Willis, you have your anterior and you have your posterior. Sa anterior part and posterior part. If in the right side, now you could see a photo, you have your internal carotid artery. Eto, the from the common carotid artery, it will branch out into the internal and external. The external carotid artery will supply the external part of the brain. External part of the skull, yan siya. So internal carotid artery sa loob po siya. It would supply the anterior circulation of the brain. Si vertebral artery naman, arising from the posterior part, will supply the posterior part of or posterior circulation of the brain. If we look into the left side photo, si vertebral artery po, eto po siya nasa baba. Kasi it would supply the posterior circulation. Si internal carotid artery naman, ito yung siyang malaki. It will supply the anterior circulation. So pag pump sa blood, diretso sila, sabay. No, dili man na mauna ang anterior or mauna ang posterior, sabay man gyud na. Pag pump sa heart, sabay mong saka for the internal carotid and the vertebral artery. So it would supply the areas of the brain. So if you could see, may blood supply on the posterior lobe of the cerebellum, anterior lobe of the cerebellum. Also may blood supply din ang ating brainstem, the medulla oblongata, the pons, the midbrain, and of course the lobes, of the brain, the diencephalon na kinuha dito. Okay? So this is the blood supply. Now, a little background lang, if the internal carotid artery will be branching out into three: the anterior cerebral artery, the middle cerebral artery, and the ophthalmic artery. Now, sa stroke po, kaya important that we know the lobes of the brain and the Brodmann's area, as I have said last time, because specific areas of the brain, has its own function. And specific areas of the brain as well has its own blood supply. If you could see the photo on the left side, diba? Each part of the brain has its own blood supply. Now, if we connect it, in pathology, in pathophysio, the middle cerebral artery is yung color violet, tama? The color violet in the left side, left upper part na brain, supplies the anterior, the lateral part of the brain. It supplies the lateral part of the brain, no? The middle cerebral artery supplies the lateral side of the brain. Now, if we could recall, sino ba yung mga nasa lateral side of the brain na lobe? You have your frontal lobe, parietal lobe, and the temporal lobe. Tama? So, if there is, and we call that MCA syndrome or the middle cerebral artery syndrome, siya yung naapektuhan, what will happen? Ano ba yung i-expect mo na manifestation of the patient? Of course, kung ano yung part na na-supply ng MCA, ano yung function na yun, probably would be damaged. So patient would, no, for the frontal lobe, that's voluntary. Patient would probably be flaccid or spastic, no, gahi ang lang limb. Ano pa? Parietal, patient might have decreased sensation or increased sensation kasi naapektuhan ang parietal lobe. Or for the temporal, patient might have, no, hearing problems. Or ano ba yung aphasia, di ba? We have the Wernicke's aphasia. Pwede na maglisod si patient og unsa sabot sa imong ingon kay na siya yung Wernicke's aphasia. Or kung sa frontal naman, Broca's aphasia, di ba? Kada mga stroke na maglisod og istorya kasi the frontal lobe is affected. So ganun po siya, no? On discussing stroke, we will be diving into and familiarizing the parts of the circle of Willis and what areas of the brain does it supplies. The very important thing that you have to note here is etong vertebrobasilar arteries because these arteries supplies the brainstem. Okay? Kasi may brainstem stroke din po tayo. Okay? Now, we're done with discussing the brain, no? Di ba we have the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. In the neuroanatomy, we already discussed the brain. Now we'll be discussing the spinal cord. The spinal cord extends from the medulla oblongata until L1, L2, no? At the level of L1, L2 vertebrae. So ganun po kataas yung spinal cord natin from the medulla oblongata until L1, L2. It will taper, no? Maghinay-hinay siya og kagamay, hantod sa maghimo siyang conus medullaris. It will continue distally as the cauda equina. Okay? Again, your spinal cord extends from the medulla oblongata down to L1, L2. Dere. L1, L2 ni siya. And it will continue, no? Mag-taper, meaning maghinay-hinay siya kagamay. Kung nakita niyo, di ba, baga kayo diri ang spinal cord. Paabot niya diri, mag-taper down siya, no? It would end as your conus medullaris, and it will continue pababa. We call that the cauda equina. Cauda means tail, equina horse. Okay? Cauda equina, horse tail. Okay? And there is also an enlargement, no, at the cervical area and lumbar areas. Okay? Need to note that. Now, phylum terminale, this is no, the phylum terminale. It's a thin fibrous extension of the pia mater from the tip of the conus medullaris. Anong function ng phylum terminale? It stabilizes the spinal cord within the vertebrae. So, mura siya og kuan tali, no, na iyahang idikit ang spinal cord sa vertebral canal para di siya para ma-stabilize siya kung nakita niyo dala. Okay? So ano bang importance nito? Remember, no, that your spinal cord, sorry, your the nerves, no, from the CNS, brain and spinal cord, lalabas po sila dito. No? We have your spinal nerve and cranial nerve. Lalabas po. Your spinal nerve, lalabas siya dito. Remember that your muscles are innervated by the nerves, right? And so diaphragm, which is the phrenic nerve, no? Is supplied by the C3, C4, and C5. So, asa bang if this is C8, C7, C6, C5, C4. Ayan. It is supplied by the C3, C4, and C5, no? So, unsay may tabo? If magka-spinal cord injury ka or SCI, tapos at the level siya of C2, what will happen? C2 down, mawala ang signal, mawala ang connection sa brain. What will happen to your patient? Kakaroon ng difficulty in breathing because affected na yung phrenic nerve which innervates the diaphragm. Okay? Yun po yung importance ng spinal cord sa inyo or sa atin, no? Ganun po siya. Okay? So, the cross-section naman, if you could see here, 'di ba? Baliktad po siya sa ating brain, 'di ba? Si brain kanina, ang gray matter nasa gilid, no? Diri ang gray matter niya sa tunga niya kay ang white matter. Ito naman, baliktad. Yung gray matter nasa gitna po, meaning the process or the integration function is nasa gitna. Yung sa gilid po, no, the transmission nasa labas. Okay, remember spinal cord, no? Uh, Imagine that spinal cord para siyang daanan, no? It serves as a pathway of the sensation from the peripheral nerve padulong sa brain. It will also serve as a pathway of motor, no, from the brain padulong sa effector organ via the efferent, no, na pathway. So, ganun siya. Kaya kung makita ninyo, sa gilid po yung white kasi more on, ang function niya is for transmission. No? Sa gitna yung integrative function which is the gray matter. Nandito yung cell body, sa gilid yung white matter or yung axons. Okay? And each has different, no, hindi natin to i-familiarize. Ang important thing lang dito is that the red part is the descending tract. The blue part is the ascending tract. Meaning, if magka-receive ka of different sensation, different nuclei po ang mag-receive. Meaning, example, if you receive a pain sensation, gikan sa imong sensory receptors, then to the nerves, then to the spinal cord. Hindi po lahat ng spinal cord mag-receive nun. We have a particular nuclei that would receive a particular particular sensation or particular na area. Okay? So, point lang here is that each sensation, each motor, each limb has its own nuclei. Okay? Hindi na natin to i-familiarize. This is not very important to you guys na, no? So, PD na to. Ang point lang dito is that pag sa spinal cord, may different po tayo na nuclei. No? Kasi baka yung expect ba na if pain, it would feel na ma-feel sa tanan. No. Specific areas lang po ang mag-send. Okay? Kaya, no, when sa spinal cord injury din, ang nangyayari, example, 'di ba? The anterior spinothalamic tract, which is an ascending sensory. Ito siya yung part that would send signal of pain from the spinal from outside to the spinal cord to the brain. If there is affectation, we call that the anterior cord syndrome, no? Kaning anterior part ng ating spinal cord ang naapektuhan. Ang mangyayari, the patient would not feel pain kasi na damage ni siya. So, ganun po. No, yun yung significance na kung bakit we need to know where is the location of each nuclei so that we would also try to diagnose, no, if nasan ba yung affectation or ano ba yung mga clinical manifestation ng patient. Can the patient still feel pain or temperature? Can the patient move the left limb or the right limb? So, ganun po. Okay? Anyway, ang good to know lang. Then lastly, we will discuss the peripheral nervous system, no? Si peripheral nervous system may dalawa po siyang parts, no, or areas. You have your cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. Tinawag po siyang cranial nerves because ito yung mga nerves that is not part of the CNS pero nasa cranium po siya. Meaning, kaning mga cranial nerves, itong 12 pairs na to, makita niya siya sa sulod sa brain. Oh, sorry, sa gawas sa brain. No, sorry. These cranial nerves, these are peripheral no, cranial, meaning cranium, no, skull, sa loob, no, sa may brain. So, itong cranial nerves na to are not part of the central nervous system, but can be seen outside the brain. Si spinal nerves naman, which are 31 pairs, nagsasalita din siya. Ito yung nerves that goes out the spinal cord. Okay? So it allows communication between CNS and the rest of the body. As I have said, that no, the peripheral nervous system acts as a delivery. No? Siya yung mag-deliver ng mga signals. So we have the sensory division, the afferent division, and the efferent division. Actually, we discussed this na, no, the first meeting. This is just to elaborate more on the areas of the peripheral nervous system. The motor division, again, has autonomic, nervous, and the somatic, no? Pag somatic, ito yung mga skeletal muscles natin. Pag autonomic, ito yung cardiac muscles, smooth muscles, glands, no? The GIT, no? Or the enteric autonomic nervous system. Okay? Si autonomic nervous system, we have the sympathetic and parasympathetic. Si sympathetic po nervous system, it's the a fight or flight response of the body. Si parasympathetic nervous system naman, ito yung rest and digest response. So example, no? Kung nasunugan ka, ano kaya yung autonomic nervous system yung ma-activate? Most probably, it would be the sympathetic nervous system. Maunang matingala ka, no? In cases of emergency, ma naiuban no ng mga storya ng mga balita na maka maka maka-carry og isa ka ref na normally dili man nimo kaya, no? Because if the sympathetic nervous system is activated, it would increase your adrenaline. So increasing in adrenaline would increase what? Your blood supply to the muscles, kaya no, maka-feel kag human strength or superhuman strength because of that. But here's the catch. Sa sympathetic nervous system, fight or flight siya. Meaning, if it's activated, it could either be the person would fight or flight. Example, pag naay iro, no, if there's a dog na a rabid dog outside, no? It could either be, depende na lang kung anong reaction mo. Siyempre, ma-activate mo yung sympathetic nervous system, kaya you're in danger, no? You'd either be imuhang suguron ang rabid dog, no? You would fight the dog, no? Labayan nimo sa bato or unsa ba imuhang usually ginahimo for that, or you flight. What will happen? Mungdagan ka, no? Ganyan siya. Pag sympathetic nervous system, this is activated if especially you are in danger or your body, no, your body is tawag nito, parang sense, no, that you are in danger. Example, pag malapit na yung exam, no, that is stress. So your autonomic nervous system, your sympathetic nervous system might be activated. You could either fight or flight. No, anong gagawin? Either mag-study or mag-procrastinate, mag-flight, no? So yan po yung tinatawag nating fight or flight response. Si parasympathetic nervous system naman, more on conservation of energy. Ito yung rest and digest response. So at rest, no, it's your parasympathetic that is activated. No, naka-rest and digest ka. Kaya no, if you could recall, if you're in a parang kanang in trouble or in parang uh, dangerous situation, di ba dili ka kalibangon? Because, no, kasi parasympathetic po yon, digest. Okay? Kaya din, di ba kung matulog ka, tapos pag mata nimo, murag lami pod imong kalibang, because at rest, no, your digestive system is also in function kasi daga-digest din yung parasympathetic nervous system. So, ganun po siya. Your autonomic nervous system, sympathetic, fight or flight, no? Parasympathetic, rest and digest. Eh, sa sympathetic din, example, no? Anong gagawin niya? It would raise, no, your heart rate. Tama? Example, makita niyo yung imong crush. No, that's parang your body would try to tell you that ala na imong crush. What will happen? Increase in blood supply, increase in heart rate, no? Dilation of pupil, ganun siya. Okay? Ayan, no? Here's the summary of everything. Okay? No need to familiarize this one. Okay? Yes, that would be the end of our discussion for neuroanatomy. And have a good day.